Hello and welcome back to the fourth and final module of Social Insights. I'm so excited to dive into this one because we are going to be talking all about analyzing our content. So now that we have an understanding of what stats we should be measuring, what matters, what they all mean, and our deep dive into both Facebook and Instagram analytics, now let's understand how we can take that information and what we should be doing with it. And this is really where that why is going to come into it. Why is some content performing better than others? So, like I said, now is the time that we are going to be thinking about that why. So, I've said it before in the previous two modules in our deep dive into Facebook and Instagram, but it is so important that we are looking at our top three performing posts and our bottom three performing posts each and every month and really analyze those so that against a few different metrics so that we know what content is resonating the best, the highest with our audience, and what content isn't. We might have all the greatest intentions in the world with our content, and we might think that we have a really, awesome series planned out. But if it's consistently week over week landing in your bottom three, then that's telling you something. Okay. It's telling you you've got to either evolve it, adapt it, make some changes to it, or maybe you got to let it go. And then, of course, we want to be looking for patterns, right? And all of those insights that we should be looking at from the top three and the bottom three. But what do they have in common, right? And we're looking at the theme. What pillar do they fall within? What category are they? What type of post are they? Is it a video content, photo content, carousel, a multi-photo post on either Facebook or Instagram? Take a look at the captions. Are they longer form captions or are they short and sweet? What hashtags are you using? How many hashtags are you using in the top three and bottom three? Is it the same? Is it different? Draw any sort of conclusions you can from the patterns that you see from your top three and your bottom three posts. And then, of course, we want to be doing more of what's working and less of what's not. That's a no brainer, of course. Why should we be wasting our time and our effort or energy on content that isn't performing very well? That doesn't make sense. So we got to tweak or we got to scrap when needed. You got to check your ego at the door and you got to let go of the content that you thought was going to be a high performer. And then week after week, month after month, it's just simply not performing the way that you thought it would. We got to let it go. So can you make any changes? If you see something consistent in a given month that's just not performing well, maybe don't scrap it right away, but make some changes to it. Does it perform better the following month? If the answer is still no, then maybe that's telling you that you got to let that type of content go. Okay. And then, of course, we want to evolve our high performers. Look at your top three performing posts month after month. What is it about them that is performing so well? Are they all of a certain pillar? Are they all educational in nature? Do they equip your audience with new skills? How can we create more of that content that's resonating with our audience? Could we maybe turn it into a series? If we know that our audience is loving our educational how to's and we've only been posting them once a month or twice a month, let's turn it into a weekly series and let's post it every single week, maybe even more than once a week. We want to make sure that we're giving our audience the type of content that they want and that they're engaging with. And we want to ensure our content stays on track, of course. So pay attention to that content balance. And I spoke a little bit about it in module one, about especially on Instagram. But you set your content pillars and categories for a reason. So take an inventory of what pillars and categories were posted each month and make sure that you have that really good variety because we know that variation wins. Our audience wants to see a variety of content, a bunch of different categories, a bunch of different types of posts, videos versus photos versus carousels, because that's what engages them. That's what delights them. And that's what keeps them on their toes and keeps them coming back for more. And then, of course, we also want to benchmark our performance. That's why we're looking at our analytics and our insights on a monthly basis. So what are the average number of likes, comments, your reach, your saves, impressions, all the metrics that you choose that are worthy of measuring each month? What are those averages for your top posts? What are the averages for the bottom posts? Even if you just do your averages that way. So you know that for your top performers, on average, you get 100 likes. On your bottom performers, on average, you get a total of 20 likes. So then you know that you want to try and strive for posts that have 100 likes. And certainly posts that have higher than 20 likes. So this is going to be a really easy way for you to set goals based on those benchmarks so that you can then track your progress accordingly. And always, always, always focus on your growth. Compare your analytics to the previous period. I always like to compare it month over month and calculate the growth. So then the goal is to just improve month over month. Don't be alarmed if you have a few dips, a few valleys here and there. That's always going to happen. But overall, we want to try and be seeing that forward progress so that we can be improving on a monthly basis, certainly on that quarterly basis. So that concludes our Social Insights Lab in the 360 series. I hope you got a lot of information out of it. I hope you're feeling inspired to pay more attention to the numbers behind the pretty posts on social media, at the very least looking at your Facebook and Instagram analytics on a monthly basis. Pay attention to those patterns, look at your top 3 performing posts and your bottom 3 performing posts, and see what you can tweak, see what you can evolve so that your content strategy stays on track and stays engaging your audience in a really, really meaningful way. I hope to see you again in another lab. The next lab in this series is Pinterest for Business. So I hope to see you again real soon. Thanks for tuning in.